everybody, I'm Ruth.
And I'm Jenny.
And we're Ammonite Yarns.
And I'm Michelle, the dyer behind Wumpkins.
We're known for our collaborations, and this year we're bringing our unique style to Skipton.
Our favourite collaboration that you're going to see at Skipton is our Ammonites and Seafoam Shawl. And we love it so much that we want to share some tips and help with you on how to get the best out of your knitting of this shawl. As you can see, there's a lovely Ammonite detail on both sides, and then we've got a representation of the crashing waters. And all of this is using the Ammonite Yarns unique colourway, which is their fossil colourway. So let's get straight into the tips, shall we? We've made this shortened video for Yarndale. It highlights how we work a garter stitch cast on tab and a nice and stretchy cast off for this shawl. A longer version of my shawl tips video is available on my Woolly Wumpkins YouTube channel. In the longer video we also wash and block the shawl in a home environment. I'll pop a link for that in the description. Let's watch the garter stitch tab cast on. I use the long tail cast on, but the key here is to not make it tight. Just want to keep it loose because you're going to be picking into these stitches. So we're going to cast on 3 there. So we want it tidy, but we don't want it tight. Okay, so let's just get the other end of this needle. We're going to knit 8 rows. A little bit awkward for me knitting around the camera, but that's what's needed. And again, like I said, we're going to be doing it loosely. I mean, not too loosely, we don't want a fishing net, but conversely, we don't want it to be so tight that we're not going to be able to pick up the stitches around the edge. So that's 1 row. This is row 2. As you can see, I'm a thrower when I knit. This is row 3. See how it is? Row 4. Row 5. Row 6. Row 7. And row 8. It's a bit fiddly at this stage because you're knitting with such a small number of stitches. There we go, row 8. So this is how it's looking. Okay, so now we're going to work along this edge and we're going to pick up 4 stitches. So as you'll see, there are 4 pill bump rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, that was a bit blurry, wasn't it? Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to pick up stitches in each of the top of those rows. To make it easier, I pull the needle through so we've got the bend of the cable. So there we go. We're just going to go in here, gently manoeuvre our way in. There we are. And we're going to pick up a stitch. There we go, there's one. We move on to the next purl bump, which is here. Just making sure I haven't caught anything. There we go, number 2. Then on to the next purl bump. There we go. In, around, and there we are, number 3. And then number 4 is into the top of this one, which is a little bit tighter because it is the cast on. It's one of the cast on edges. But there we are, we got it. Number 4. All right, there's nobody there. Okay, so we've got 4, and they are the top bumps of each garter purl row. Now we're going to turn again, and we're going to work along this edge. And this time we're going to pick up 3 stitches. So again, I'm going to pull the needle so that we got the cable, and twist the cable there and just feed it through. Here we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look for, where are you there? There we are. We're going to look for one there, and one there. Okay. So my needle goes in there. So we're actually knitting into the cast on row. And again, don't pull don't pull that stitch tight there. We want them all to be fairly even. Okay, so there's 1, and then we're going to go in there for 2, and then in the last one. Where is he? Hiding away, he is. We'll go in there. 3. So now I'm going to pull the cord through just to get it all. It's jumping off my hand because the cable's so long. There we go. Let's go back here. So now we got, let's count our stitches. In total, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stitches. Okay, so this now will become the top of our shawl. Actually, if I turn it this way, the top of our shawl there, and from now on it's going to work outwards there, it's going to work outwards there, and it's going to work downwards here. Yay! We've just completed the last row of our Ammonites and Seafoam pattern. All we've got left now is the cast off row. As you can see, it's a big shawl, and our fabric is nice and stretchy. It's got good movement to the fabric. So it'd be an awful shame if we then cast off and got a really tight, unmovable edge. So what we do, we double check our needle size, which we know is a 4 because that's what our pattern called for. Yep, it's a 4. It's not 3.75. Wiggle, wiggle. No, it's not 4.5. It's a 4. and we're going to go 2 full sizes bigger, so that'll be a 6. By full I mean full numbers, so 4, 5, 6. So there we go. We've got ourselves a size 6 needle. So we're going to cast off as you would any other garment, and because we've got the bigger needle, it's okay to hold the yarn firmly. So I prefer not to have a point on the end, so I always slip the first stitch, knit the second stitch, and then pass the slipped stitch over the knitted stitch. It gives a nicer edge. Some people prefer the little point it gives. It's really up to you which you decide to go with. So we're just not overly tight, but also not loosely. Just going to continue now to cast off. As you'll already know, if you've got this far in the pattern, a cast off is just knitting 2 stitches and then passing the first stitch over the last stitch. Knit a stitch, pass first stitch over the last stitch. So we'll do a few more and then I can show you how the edging is looking. We're trying to keep our tension or gauge the same here, so that we don't get any gaping cast off stitches. There you go. See, it's very neat, and it's got that stretch that we need without being gaping. So when we come to block the garment, it's going to go to the shape that we want with ease and still give it that lovely professional finish. So let's continue. Just another 400 or so stitches left to cast off. So sometime later, we're coming up to the end of the cast off row, and we're going to mimic our first 2 stitches of the cast off row by, when we get to the last 2 stitches, we're going to knit them together and then pass the yarn over. Here we are. So last 2 stitches, knit them together, pass over, and then we're going to snip the yarn long enough to sew the end in and pull it through. So we don't have that pointy end, we have a nice curved end. Now we're going to go and give it a little wash, freshen it up. So as you can see, it's a really enjoyable knit.
And we hope you enjoyed the tips.
And we'll see you in Skipton. Bye.
Bye.